My child, stop. Pause your hands. Breathe in slowly and let your shoulders drop, because I am asking you for your full attention right now. Do not treat this like background noise. Do not let your mind rush ahead to what you have to do next. This is not random, not algorithmic, not accidental. I place this interruption directly in your path because you were about to walk past the very answer you have been asking me for. Listen to me closely. You asked me for confirmation, and now I am asking you not to ignore it. You have been saying, Lord, just show me. Lord, make it clear. Lord, give me a sign. And then you have been so tired, so distracted, so overstimulated, so bruised by waiting, that when I begin to answer you, you almost keep moving. You almost scroll past. You almost talk yourself out of staying still long enough to recognize my voice. I am not speaking to alarm you. I am not speaking to throw you into panic. I am speaking to awaken you and steady you. I am speaking to gather the pieces of your focus that have been scattered by overthinking, by fear, by the pressure of time, by the opinions of people who do not carry your calling. I am speaking because distraction has been assigned to this moment, and fatigue has been whispering, later, and overanalysis has been telling you, not yet. Wait until it feels perfect. But I tell you now, my beloved child, if you keep waiting for perfect feelings, you will keep postponing obedience. This moment is time sensitive, not because I am harsh, but because I am kind. There are seasons when I allow you to wrestle, and there are moments when I interrupt the wrestling with peace. This is one of those moments. I am cutting through the noise you have been living in. I am putting my hand gently on your heart and saying, come back to me. Come back to stillness. Come back to trust. And hear me. Confirmation is not always thunder in the sky, and it is not always 100 repeating signs to satisfy a frightened mind. Confirmation is often a settled knowing that lands in your spirit when you finally stop running in circles. It is alignment, your heart coming into agreement with my peace and my instruction. It is the quiet, steady clarity that does not have to shout to be true. It is the strength to take the next obedient step, even while some questions remain. So, do not demand more noise when I am giving you peace. Do not call it silence when it is actually my steady hand guiding you. Stay here with me. Let this interruption do its work. I am answering you, and I will not miss you, but you must not miss me. My beloved child, do not tell yourself this is a coincidence. Do not reduce this moment to timing or chance or an algorithm, because I, the Lord your God, am the one who aligned it. I aligned the minute your heart grew tired of guessing. I aligned the second your mind started spinning in circles again. I aligned the breath you just released, the heaviness you could not explain, the quiet thought you had when you said, I just need to know what to do. And I brought you here, not to entertain you, but to meet you. I saw you reaching for clarity in 100 different directions. I saw you open doors and close them, start conversations and pull back, make plans and then question every step, as if certainty must arrive before obedience can begin. I heard the prayer you whispered when no one was listening, when you were alone, when the lights were off, when you were trying to be strong for everyone else, and you finally let your voice tremble, and you said, Father, please, confirm it. Please, don't let me miss you. My child, that prayer did not fall to the floor. It did not vanish into the air. It landed in my hands, and I marked this appointment on your calendar before you ever knew you needed it. Because you are standing at a decision point, and I know it. You are looking at the road in front of you and you are asking, do I move forward? Do I wait? Do I walk away? Do I start over? Do I keep believing? Do I protect my heart? Do I risk again? And what has made this moment feel so heavy is not that you lack intelligence, and not that you lack effort, and not that you have not prayed. What has made it heavy is that fear has been sitting in the chair where trust belongs, and it has been interpreting everything I do through the lens of disappointment. So hear me, and let this settle you. I am not punishing you with silence. I am not withholding to tease you. I am not delaying because I am distant. I have been guiding you into alignment. I have been narrowing your steps so you do not run ahead into a door that would cost you your peace. I have been protecting you from choosing out of panic, from committing out of loneliness, from building out of pressure, from signing your name to something that looks right on the outside, but would drain you on the inside. And before the confirmation lands the way you want it to land, I must heal the place in you that misreads my guidance. Because when your heart is bruised, even my gentleness can feel like rejection. When your mind is exhausted, even my patience can feel like neglect. When you have been disappointed, even my quiet can sound like abandonment. But I am here, my child. I am close. I am intentional. And this moment is proof not of randomness, but of my pursuit. So do not rush past this appointment. Do not make a decision from a wound and then call it wisdom. Stay with me for another moment. Let me touch the fear underneath your need for signs. Let me steady the part of you that keeps asking for more because you are afraid to be let down again. I am not accusing you. I am uncovering what has been hiding, because once it is named, it can no longer drive you. And when fear is no longer interpreting my voice, my peace will become the confirmation you have been begging to recognize. My child, before I confirm the step the way you want me to confirm it, I am going to name what you have been carrying, because you have been asking me for direction with a trembling heart, and you have been trying to sound strong while your insides have been tired. I have seen the nights you lay down and your body was in the bed, but your mind was still pacing. I have seen you replay conversations, replay decisions, replay doors that closed, replay moments you wish you could redo, and you keep calling it thinking, but it has been worry wearing the mask of wisdom. I have watched you force a smile in rooms where you did not feel safe enough to admit how uncertain you feel. I saw the quiet tears you wiped away quickly, not because you are dramatic, but because you are exhausted from carrying the responsibility of getting it right. I heard the sigh you let out when you were alone and you whispered, "Lord, I can't afford to mess this up." And you have been living as if one wrong step will erase years, as if one decision will destroy everything you've built, as if you must be perfectly certain before you move, because you are afraid of the cost of being disappointed again. And underneath your request for confirmation, there has been a deeper question that you have been afraid to say out loud. What if I misheard you? What if I waste time? What if I choose wrong and I lose what I have? What if I step forward and nothing happens? What if I wait and I miss it? My child, I know the pressure of that loop. I know the way hope feels vulnerable after you've already tried, after you've already believed, after you've already been patient and still had to watch something fall apart. But listen to me. The heaviness you feel is not proof that you have failed. It is not proof that you are far from me. It is not proof that you are disqualified or confused beyond repair. That weight is often what happens when you are standing near a threshold, when a new season is close enough to challenge the old one, when the enemy of your peace can sense movement and tries to press your mind with urgency, with doom, with worst-case scenarios. Pressure increases near doors. Resistance rises near obedience. That does not mean you are wrong. It often means you are close. And I am not meeting you with accusation. I am meeting you with understanding. I am not offended by your desire to be sure. I am not angry that you asked for a sign. But I am going to free you from the kind of asking that is not faith, but fear. Because if you do not let me heal the anxiety under your need for endless confirmation, you will keep demanding more signs, not to obey me, but to soothe a frightened mind for a moment, only to spiral again tomorrow. So let me touch this, my beloved child. Let me name it so it loses its power. You are not addicted to signs because you are weak. You have been reaching for signs because you have been afraid to trust peace. And now I am calling you back, not into guessing, not into panic, but into a steadiness that can take the next obedient step with me, even while some questions remain. Stay with me. I am about to show you what true confirmation feels like. My beloved child, listen to me closely, because what I am about to teach you will break the loop that has been exhausting you. You do not need endless signs. You need a trust that can stand. You do not need me to keep performing for your fear. You need your heart to learn how to rest in me, even when the full map is not yet in your hands. Because there is a difference between confirmation and control, and if you do not discern it, you will keep calling control wisdom, and you will keep calling fear discernment, and you will keep delaying the very obedience you asked me to strengthen. Seeking me is good, asking me is good, bringing your questions to me is not a problem, but demanding certainty so you never have to use faith becomes a prison. When you say, just one more sign, it feels like safety, but it is often anxiety asking for permission to stay in charge. And each time you get what you think is a sign, you feel relief for a moment, Then your mind finds a new question, a new angle, a new fear, and suddenly the sign you begged for is no longer enough. And you do not realize it, but you are being trained into restlessness. You are being trained to need more proof before you move, and that is not how I raise my children into strength. Hear me, confirmation is not meant to feed fear. Confirmation is meant to strengthen obedience. It is a lamp for your next step, not a spotlight for your entire future. If you require a guarantee to move, you will never move, because faith does not grow in the soil of guarantees. It grows in the soil of surrender. I am not calling you to recklessness. I am calling you to maturity. I am calling you to stop outsourcing courage to circumstances and start anchoring your decisions in my presence. And this is the anchor I am giving you now. My confirmation often comes as alignment, not hype that spikes your emotions and leaves you anxious the next hour, but peace with conviction. A steady yes in your spirit that does not need to shout to be real. A quiet firmness that says, this is the way, walk in it, even while some details are still unfolding. When it is me, you will feel a settling that guards you, not a panic that drives you. When it is me, you will sense clarity that produces obedience, not chaos that produces obsession. So, I am putting my finger on the cycle, my child, because I love you. One more sign has been postponing your freedom. One more sign has been keeping you in the doorway, rehearsing the decision instead of walking it. One more sign has been keeping your heart restless, because fear always asks for more tomorrow. But I am calling you out of that pattern. I am teaching you to recognize me by peace, by integrity, by steady direction, by the way your soul can breathe again when you choose the next obedient step. And yes, there have been moments in my word where I gave a sign to steady a trembling heart. You remember Gideon, you remember the fleece. But do not misunderstand what I am showing you there. I did not give a sign to build a life of dependence on signs. I gave a sign to build a man into courage. The sign was a bridge, not a home. And in the same way, I will meet you where you are, but I will not leave you where fear wants you to stay. Stay with me, my beloved. I am about to show you how courage rises after reassurance, and how trust matures when you finally move. Remember Gideon, my beloved. Remember how I found him not on a platform of confidence, but in a hidden place of fear. He was not standing tall, announcing faith to the crowd. He was trying to survive. He was watching the threat around him and measuring his own strength, and everything in him wanted to believe, but everything in him also trembled. And that is where I came into the trembling, into the questions, into the smallness he felt inside his own chest. I did not meet him with mockery. I did not meet him with disgust. I met him with presence. I spoke to him. I called him what he could not yet see, and I began to lift him with my words. And yes, I gave him reassurance. I allowed the fleece. I answered the request. I did not strike him down for wanting to be sure, because I am a father, and I know the difference between an honest heart that is learning to trust and a resistant heart that is looking for excuses. But hear me clearly. The sign was not the assignment. The sign was not the destination. The sign was a bridge. I did not give him confirmation so he could build a home in hesitation. I gave him confirmation so he could cross over into obedience. Because this is my pattern, my child. I am patient with the sincere. I am gentle with the wounded. I will steady you when your faith is shaking. I will remind you of my power when your mind is loud. But I will not train you to live on the edge of almost. I will not build your life on perpetual delay. I will not let fear become a lifestyle that you decorate with spiritual language. If I keep answering one more sign while you keep refusing the next step, you will think I am nurturing you, but you will actually be shrinking. And I love you too much to let you stay small. So listen, Gideon's turning point was not the damp fleece or the dry fleece. His turning point was the moment he stood up and moved, when he still did not feel like a warrior. It was the moment he obeyed while questions were still in the air. It was the moment he learned that courage is not the absence of fear. It is agreement with my voice in the presence of fear. That is what I was building in him. That is what I am building in you. And now I bring this to your life, right here, right now. What kind of confirmation are you actually asking me for? Are you asking me for reassurance so you can obey? Or are you asking me for proof so you never have to risk trusting me? Are you asking me to steady your steps? Or are you asking me to remove the need for faith entirely? My beloved, I do not condemn you for wanting reassurance, but I am inviting you to grow out of the cycle of postponing, out of the doorway of delay, and into a trust that can walk forward with me, even while the full picture is still unfolding. My beloved child, here is the confirmation you asked me for, and it will not come the way your anxious mind demanded it. It will not always come as fireworks, or a sudden voice in the sky, or 10 different people repeating the same sentence in one day. It will come as my peace guarding you as you move. It will come as a settled strength in your spirit that does not match what your circumstances are doing. It will come as a quiet steadiness that says, take the next step with me, even if you still do not have the full blueprint in your hands. Because I am not asking you for full understanding. I am asking you for willingness. I am not demanding that you predict every outcome. I am calling you to trust the one who already holds the outcome. You have been trying to feel certain before you obey, but I tell you the truth. Clarity often grows after obedience. When you take the step I have given you, the fog that fear has been breathing into your mind begins to lift. When you move with me, the path unfolds. When you stop negotiating with panic and you agree with my voice, you will find that I meet you on the road, not only at the starting line. So learn this marker, my child, and let it become your discernment. My confirmation will carry peace. Not always comfort, not always ease, not always the absence of challenge, but peace. The step I bless may stretch you, but it will not scramble you. It may require courage, but it will not require chaos in your spirit. It may ask you to grow, but it will not demand that you betray your integrity to get there. When it is me, you will be able to breathe again, even while your knees still tremble. And I must expose what is not me, because you have mistaken pressure for prompting. Frantic urgency that punishes you, manipulation that corners you, voices that rush you, threats that say, if you don't do it now, you will lose everything, confusion that multiplies. The more you pray, these are not the language of your Father. I do not drive my children like slaves. I lead them like a shepherd. The enemy shouts, hurries, accuses, and stirs panic. I speak, I settle, I strengthen, and I guide. So test it simply. Does this decision pull you into prayerful steadiness, or does it pull you into frantic striving? Does it produce a deeper surrender, or does it produce a tighter grip? Does it align you with peace, even if it is a hard yes, or does it fracture you into confusion and fear? My child, I will confirm you by my peace, and my peace will stand guard over your heart as you walk. Stay with me. Do not leave this moment, because in the next steps, I am going to help you separate fear's voice from my leading, and I am going to show you why what feels like delay has not been denial. But for now, receive this. You have been asking for a sign, and I am giving you something stronger. I am giving you my peace. Go forward with me, and let it guard you. My child, do not confuse delay with denial. Do not take what has not happened yet and call it rejection, as if I have forgotten your name or misplaced your prayers. I have not been absent. I have been active in ways you could not see. And the love you asked me to prove with an answer is the very love that sometimes proves itself by withholding. Because there were doors you begged me to open that were not safe for you. There were rooms you thought were opportunity that were actually compromise. There were yeses that looked like progress but would have cost you your peace, your integrity, your tenderness, your stability. And you would have called it blessing because it arrived quickly. But I, your Father, saw the hook hidden in the hurry. So I closed what you could not discern. I blocked what would have drained you. I delayed what would have destroyed you, not because I enjoyed watching you wait, but because I refused to let you be injured by what you were too tired to recognize. And while you were counting days and asking, why not yet? I was strengthening what must carry the answer. I was forming your discernment. I was purifying your motives. I was teaching you how to hear me without panic, how to move without striving, how to obey without needing applause. I was rearranging timing, aligning people you have not met yet, shifting resources you cannot see yet, moving pieces in places you do not have access to. I was keeping you from arriving early to something that would have demanded a version of you that I had not finished healing. And I know you have been blaming yourself. I know you have replayed moments and whispered, if I had said yes sooner, if I had been braver, if I hadn't wasted time, if I hadn't missed that chance. But listen to me, beloved. Missed opportunities did not cancel your calling. Detours did not delete my promise. Your slow season did not embarrass me. I redeem time. I restore momentum. I can take what you thought was lost and breathe life into it until it stands again stronger, cleaner, and more anchored than it would have been if it came when you were begging for it. So I am shifting your question, not to shame you for wanting to move forward, but to free you from torment. Instead of, why not yet? Ask me, what are you forming in me? Ask me, what are you protecting in me? Ask me, what do you want established in my spirit before I step through? Because the weight is not empty when I am in it. The silence is not neglect when my hand is working behind the wall. And now, my child, I am bringing you to the image you need. There are doors I locked for safety, and there are doors I am unlocking for season. Some locks were mercy, some delays were rescue, and some hinges even now are beginning to move quietly, steadily, in perfect timing. Stay close, because I am about to show you which door in front of you is mine, and you will not have to betray your peace to walk through it. My child, you are standing at a threshold, and I did not bring you here to leave you guessing in the doorway. This is a crossing point that will redefine your next season. You can feel it in your spirit, the way the air has changed, the way old patterns are starting to lose their grip, the way your heart is tired of circles and ready for a line in the sand. And now I speak plainly. The door I open for you will not require you to betray your peace to walk through it. Because what is for you is not bait. What is for you is not a trap disguised as an opportunity. What is for you will align with truth, even if it stretches you. It will align with integrity, even if it costs you convenience. It will align with wholeness, even if it asks you to leave what is familiar. I do not lead my children into doors that demand you become someone false in order to be accepted. I do not bless a path that requires you to shrink your voice, silence your convictions, or numb your discernment just to keep a seat at a table. So listen closely, and let this become your boundary in the spirit. If the open door in front of you demands that you lie to survive there, it is not mine. If it demands that you rush because fear is threatening you, do it now or you will lose everything. It is not my voice. If it demands that you abandon the healing I have been doing in you just to feel chosen, just to feel secure, just to feel like you are finally moving, then you are not being led, you are being pressured. If a relationship requires you to perform, to over-explain, to accept disrespect as normal, to carry the whole weight alone, to keep your tears hidden so you don't look difficult, then that door is asking you to pay with your soul. And I have not brought you this far to sell your peace for proximity. Obedience may cost you comfort, yes. It may cost you familiarity. It may cost you the applause of people who preferred the version of you that stayed small, but it will not cost you your soul. It will not cost you your honesty. It will not cost you your purity of heart. The door I open may require courage, but it will not require compromise. It will not demand that you trade your identity for access. It will not demand that you silence my conviction inside you in order to keep something that was never meant to hold you. And now, my child, I shift you from the door in front of you to the doors within you, because discernment becomes clearer when the heart is not locked from fear. There is a room inside you have kept bolted shut, a place where disappointment lives, where old rejection still echoes, where you learned to mistrust peace because peace felt temporary. And as long as that room stays locked, you will keep mistaking anxious urgency for my instruction, and you will keep calling pressure confirmation. So come closer, bring me the key you've been gripping in your fist, open what you have been guarding. Let me step into that hidden place, because the next door you walk through will be clearer when the hidden door in you is no longer sealed by fear. Stay with me, beloved. We are not only choosing an external path, we are healing the internal place that must be whole enough to recognize my voice. My beloved child, do not tighten your grip on that key. Do not tell yourself, I'm fine, when you know there is a place in you that flinches the moment peace tries to settle, because peace feels unfamiliar after disappointment. I know why you locked it. I know what taught you to guard. There was a time you opened your heart and it was mishandled. There was a time you trusted and it cost you. There was a time you stepped out with sincerity and it did not turn out the way you thought. And you promised yourself you would never feel that exposed again. So you learned to stay cautious. You learned to overthink. You learned to keep part of your heart behind a door, just in case. But hear me, my child. What you call being careful has sometimes been fear rewriting my instructions. Fear has been editing my voice, cutting out the parts where I say, go, and highlighting only the parts where you feel safe to stall. Fear has taken wisdom and turned it into avoidance. Fear has taken caution and turned it into paralysis. And then you wonder why you feel double-minded, why one moment you feel faith rise, and the next moment you feel your stomach sink, why you say you believe me, yet you cannot move, why you pray for confirmation, yet you keep disqualifying every answer I give you. I do not say this to accuse you, I say this to heal you. I am not offended by the wound, I am not ashamed of your tenderness, I am not standing outside that locked room with disappointment in my eyes. I am standing here with gentleness and authority, because I know that clarity cannot live comfortably where fear is in control. And I know that discernment becomes steady when the heart is no longer split between longing and self-protection. So open it, my beloved. Let me into the memory you avoid. Let me into the moment you replay. Let me into the sentence you believed when you were hurt, the sentence that said, I can't trust, I always choose wrong. If I hope again, I will be embarrassed again. If I move, I will lose. Those are not my words. Those are scar sentences, and I have come to remove them. When I enter that room, I do not punish you for bleeding. I bind you. I do not shame you for being human. I restore you. I do not demand that you become hard. I heal you until you can be whole. And as you let me in, this is what will happen. The noise will lower. The spinning will slow. The urgency will lose its power. And my peace, the peace you have been suspicious of because it felt too quiet, will become your confirmation again. You will begin to recognize me, not by panic, not by pressure, not by constant second-guessing, but by the steady witness of my spirit inside you. Now stay with me and do one small act of faith. Agree with me in this moment. If this word is touching the place you've kept locked, do not scroll past it, do not brush it off, do not let distractions steal what I am sealing. Whisper, Father, I open the room. Say it even if your voice shakes. And let that agreement be the first hinge that moves, because I am not only giving you direction, I am healing the heart that will walk in it. My beloved child, stay with me. Do not click away. Do not let your thumb move faster than your spirit, because this is the moment you asked me for, the moment you have been praying yourself into without realizing it, the moment where I am not only speaking comfort over you, but sealing direction into you. And distraction is subtle, my child. It does not always come as chaos. Sometimes it comes as later. Sometimes it comes as I'll come back. Sometimes it comes as one more scroll, one more video, one more thought, until the warmth of this word cools and the courage you felt begins to leak out. So I am asking you for a simple act of faith, not because I need it, but because you do. Because when you respond, you are not feeding an algorithm. You are training your heart to agree with me. You are putting a seal on what I just touched. If you are ready to stop chasing endless signs and start trusting my leading, then like this, yes, do it as an agreement in your spirit that you will no longer live at the mercy of one more confirmation. Let that small action become a line in the sand that says, fear will not drive me anymore. Peace will lead me. And if you want more words that strengthen discernment and protect your peace in decision seasons, if you want to keep learning what my voice feels like when pressure tries to imitate it, then subscribe. Not as a routine, but as discipleship, as consistency, as choosing to sit under what steadies you instead of what stirs you. Because I am raising you into maturity, and maturity is built by daily alignment, not by emotional emergencies. Now, my child, type this in the comments and let your hands preach what your heart is choosing. I trust your confirmation. Lord, lead me in peace. Write it, declare it. And as you do, you are not performing, you are agreeing. You are sealing this moment before the enemy can whisper later tonight, that wasn't for you, or tomorrow morning. You're still not sure, or next week. You missed it. And now stay close, because I am about to become practical with you. I am about to show you how to walk the next 24 to 72 hours without spiraling, without negotiating with fear, without reopening what I just healed. I will give you steps you can take, not ahead of me, not behind me, but with me, so your peace remains guarded and your obedience becomes steady. Now, my child, listen to me, because I am not leaving you with a feeling I am giving you away. In the next 24 hours, you are going to move with me, not ahead of me and not behind me. You are going to take your hands off the wheel of panic and place them back into prayer. First, Quiet your mind on purpose, not when you finally feel calm, but as an act of obedience. Turn down the noise, close the extra tabs, silence the voices that spike your anxiety. Step away from the constant input that keeps your spirit overstimulated, because I cannot compete with 100 frantic voices and still be heard the way you need to hear me. I am gentle, but I am not absent, and you will notice me again when you make room. Then pray plainly, not perfectly, not poetically, plainly. Say, Father, I am here, I trust you, show me my next step. And when you feel your mind start running ahead when it tries to demand the whole map, the whole outcome, the whole guarantee, bring it back to this. I rarely show my children the whole staircase at once. I confirm the next step. I light the next step. I strengthen the next step. And the step after that becomes clear when your foot lands on the one I already spoke. This is how I train you to walk by faith and not by fear. Now take something simple, a notebook, a note on your phone, a piece of paper, and write down the decision in front of you in one sentence, not 10 paragraphs, one sentence. Name it, bring it into the light, because part of what has been tormenting you is that you have been carrying it as a fog instead of a focused prayer. Write it down, and underneath it write this: Lord, what is the next obedient step? Not the 5-year plan, not the way it will all work out. The next obedient step. And yes, seek wise counsel, my beloved, but do not outsource my voice to the crowd. Ask for wisdom from people who fear me, people who protect your peace, people who do not feed your panic. But do not go collecting opinions like currency, trying to buy certainty with numbers. Confirmation is not found in popularity. Direction is not found in how many people agree with you. I will confirm you through peace and godly wisdom, not through approval addiction. So I am calling you to a fast just for a day from frantic research, panic scrolling, comparison, and fear-driven advice loops. You already know what that cycle does to you. It does not make you clearer, it makes you louder inside. It does not strengthen your discernment, it multiplies your doubt. For the next 24 hours, trade that habit for surrendered listening. Sit with me, walk with me. Let your body calm down long enough for your spirit to speak again. And hear me, because I am preparing you for what comes right after you decide. The spike, the fear of backlash, the fear of loss, the fear of rejection, the fear that if you say yes, someone will be disappointed, and if you say no, you will miss what you were meant to have. That surge is not proof you missed me. It is often the moment the enemy tries to reclaim your peace with questions that sound like wisdom but taste like dread. So when that fear rises, you will not chase 10 more signs. You will return to the step I gave you, the peace I planted in you, and the obedience I asked of you. Move with me, my child, one faithful step at a time, and you will find that I am already waiting for you on the road. And when that spike comes, my child, when you finally decide, when you finally say yes or no, when you finally take the step you have been circling for months, and then you lie down and your mind suddenly begins to protest, do not panic. Do not interpret that inner shaking as proof you missed me. Do not call it failure because your chest feels tight. Do not assume you were wrong because your thoughts got loud. The mind often rebels against what faith has chosen, because faith does not ask the mind for permission. Faith moves, and then the natural part of you that wants control starts demanding receipts. Listen to me closely. Doubt after obedience is often resistance, not misdirection. It is fear trying to reopen what I have settled. It is the enemy knocking on a door I already closed, hoping you will unlatch it with "what if." It is the old version of you, trained by disappointment, trained by survival, trained by overthinking, trying to drag you back into the familiar prison of hesitation. Because at least hesitation feels like you are still in control. But you are not going back. Not after I gave you peace. Not after I steadied you. Not after I spoke. So when your thoughts start spinning tonight, when tomorrow morning your stomach drops and you feel that urge to undo the decision, I want you to say this out loud, simple and strong. I do not need to feel fearless to be faithful. Again, my child, say it until your body believes it. I do not need to feel fearless to be faithful, because I did not call you to an emotion. I called you to obedience. I did not tell you to follow me only when you feel brave. I told you to follow me when you hear my voice. And here is what you will do in that moment. You will return to what I said, not what anxiety suggests. you will go back to the peace I placed like a guard around your heart. You will remember the clarity I gave you when you were quiet, not the chaos that comes when you are tired. You will not renegotiate with fear at midnight. You will not hold a trial in your mind with panic as the judge. You will come back to me and say, Father, you led me. Father, you settled me. Father, anchor me again, and I will. Because you are not making this next step alone, in the unseen, I have already assigned help to your yes. I have already aligned what needs to align. I have already gone ahead of you and marked the path with mercy. Angels are not a story to impress you, my child, they are servants of my purposes. And I have dispatched what you cannot see to protect what you are carrying. There is resistance because your obedience matters. There is pushback because you are moving out of a cycle. So stand in peace. Breathe in my presence and keep walking. I will prove to you, step by step, that my peace was not a feeling, it was confirmation. And what I confirm, I sustain. My beloved child, hear me now, because I do not want you stepping forward while imagining you are exposed. I am going before you already, not after you feel ready, not after you collect one more sign, not after you figure out how to protect yourself. I have already moved ahead of your obedience, and I have already placed covering on the path you are about to walk. You are not entering this transition as a target with no shield. You are entering it as a child of a father who does not send you where he has not first gone. I have been shifting things you cannot see. I have been rearranging timing, softening what needed to be softened, removing what would have entangled you, and withholding what would have lured you into a trap wearing the costume of opportunity. I have closed doors quietly so you would not have to fight battles you were never called to fight. I have delayed certain answers so you would not arrive too early to a place that would have demanded a version of you that was still bleeding. You thought the delay was emptiness, but it was shielding. You thought the silence was abandonment, but it was protection in motion. And yes, in the unseen, I have assigned help to your yes. Angels have been mobilized not as a story, not as a sensation to chase, but as servants of my purpose around your obedience. I have marked your path with mercy. I have set watchers where you would have walked unaware. I have aligned doors that will open at the right moment, and I have placed resistance under restraint so it cannot overtake you. Do you understand, my child? You may feel small, but you are not unguarded. You may feel nervous, but you are not unaccompanied. You may feel the tremble in your hands, but your steps are still being held. Now listen closely, because I must make this clear. Protection does not mean there will be no challenge. Protection means the challenge will not consume you. Protection means you will not be swallowed by what used to swallow you. Protection means when the wind rises, you will stay standing. When opposition speaks, it will not have the final word. When confusion tries to circle back, my peace will rise like a wall around your mind and say, this one is mine, this one is led, this one is covered. So do not brace for disaster as if your obedience is reckless. Do not walk into your next step expecting punishment. I am not leading you into a season of loss. I am leading you into a season of release. I am restoring what fear tried to steal: your steadiness, your hope, your ability to trust my goodness without interrogating it. A new season begins when you stop negotiating with fear and you start agreeing with my peace, and you are closer than you realize. Keep walking, my child. Your yes is already protected, and what I protect, I also bring to completion. My child, this is the shift. I am not whispering this as a possibility. I am speaking it as a turning. The era of shrinking back is ending. The era of stalling in the doorway, of circling the same decision with the same questions, of waking up with courage and going to sleep with second-guessing this season is closing. Not because you suddenly became perfect, not because you finally earned it, but because you are finally willing to stop negotiating with fear, as if fear deserves a vote in what I have already settled. For too long, you have treated anxiety like a consultant. You have let it sit at the table with you, asking it, "What do you think?" and then wondering why your soul feels exhausted, why your mind feels loud, why your body feels tired, as if you have been running without moving. But I am teaching you a holy pivot. Momentum returns when trust replaces sign-seeking. When you stop demanding 10 more confirmations to soothe the wound, and you start honoring the peace I already placed in you, your steps become steady again, not rushed, not reckless, steady, and what is steady becomes strong. And hear me closely, because I am restoring you in ways you have been craving but couldn't name. I am restoring peace in your mind, so thoughts no longer chase you in circles. I am restoring stability in your emotions, so you are not ruled by one fearful moment that tries to rewrite an entire future. I am restoring strength in your body so your sleep returns, your breathing deepens, your shoulders unclench, and your nervous system learns again what safety feels like in my presence. I am restoring clarity in your direction so you do not keep mistaking pressure for my voice, and you do not keep calling panic wisdom. I am bringing you back to yourself, the self I formed, the self I love, the self that can hear me without trembling at every unknown. But do not confuse expectancy with performance, my beloved. My blessing is not hype, my promise is not a show. You do not have to force excitement to prove faith. You do not have to manufacture emotion to convince me you believe. Obedience is your agreement. Peace is your sign. The door will open because I said it would, not because you performed perfectly while waiting, so lift your eyes. This new season does not begin when everything feels easy. It begins when you stop bargaining with fear and you start walking with my peace as your yes. Now come closer, because we are not just talking about change, we are stepping into it. Stay with me and let your heart soften, because I am about to lead you into prayer. First surrender, then clarity, then courage, so what I have spoken over you becomes what you live. My beloved child, come with me into surrender now, not the kind of surrender that collapses in defeat, but the kind that exhales and finally stops fighting for the illusion of control. Because I know what you have been doing, trying to manage outcomes you cannot manage, trying to predict reactions you cannot predict, trying to rehearse every possible ending so you won't be hurt again. And I am gentle with you, but I am also calling you out of that exhausting cycle. So pray with me now, slowly, honestly, without performance. Father, I release my need to control the outcome. I release the pressure to make the perfect decision with perfect certainty. I release the demand that everything be explained to me before I obey you. I release the timeline. I have been gripping the by now, the it should have happened already, the if you're really with me, then prove it this way. I surrender my calendar. I surrender my methods. I surrender the urge to force what you have not rushed. I surrender the habit of calling anxiety wisdom. I let it go, Lord. I lay it down in your hands. And Father, give me a clean heart. Wash the fear out of my discernment. Remove the edits fear has made to your voice, the parts where you said, go, and I heard. Wait, the parts where you said, trust me, and I heard. Protect yourself. Heal the disappointment that made me suspicious of peace. Heal the old moment that taught me to brace instead of believe. Restore childlike trust in me, not childish denial, but childlike confidence that my Father is good, that my Father is near, that my Father leads me step by step. Now, my child, in the quiet of your own breath, speak the decision to me. Say it plainly. Name it without hiding it. Bring it into the light with me. And as you do, pause for a moment, just a moment, and let your spirit stop running. Let your heart be still long enough to be held. I am here. I am listening. I am not rushing you, and I am not shaming you. I am receiving your surrender. And hear me as I seal this prayer over you. I am gentle with the sincere, and I am firm with the faithful. I will not crush you for trembling, but I will strengthen you to move. I will not abandon you in the unknown, but I will lead you through it. When control is released, my peace becomes clear. When you stop demanding the whole map, you will recognize the next step again. So stay with me, because now that you have surrendered, I am going to pray courage into your yes. I am going to strengthen confirmation into action. So what I have spoken will not only comfort you, it will carry you forward. Now, my child, stay close, because I am about to put strength where you have felt shakiness and clarity where you have felt fog. Pray with me not as someone begging a distant God, but as a child agreeing with a present Father. Father, in the name of Jesus, confirm my steps and strengthen my yes. Give me discernment that is clean, not mixed with fear, not contaminated by old disappointment, not swayed by counterfeit pressure. Teach me to recognize your voice the way a child recognizes the voice of their father, steady, pure, and full of peace. When urgency tries to imitate instruction, expose it. When manipulation tries to dress itself as opportunity, uncover it. When my emotions rise like a wave and try to drown out your whisper, settle the waters in me and let your spirit speak louder than my anxiety. And Father, be practical with me. Order my timing. Align the conversations I need to have and give me the words that carry truth without chaos. Put integrity like a guard at my mouth so I do not over-explain, so I do not people-please, so I do not betray my peace to keep the approval of others. If there are documents I need to sign, show me what to read twice. If there are decisions I need to make, show me the next obedient one, not the whole staircase. Open the right door at the right time and close every door that would require compromise. Let what is for me come with clarity, not confusion, with conviction, not panic. And Father, strengthen me emotionally, calm my sleep, quiet my mind at night, break the anxiety loops that keep replaying the same what if like a tormenting soundtrack. Restore steadiness to my body, relax my shoulders, slow my breathing, teach my nervous system what safety feels like in your presence. Replace dread with confidence. Replace spiraling with stability. Let peace become my normal again. And I ask you now for protection over this transition. Cover me from confusion, from sabotage, from discouragement that tries to hit right after obedience. Guard my heart from sudden doubt. Guard my mind from lies that sound reasonable but lead to fear. Assign your help to my yes, seen and unseen, and let nothing steal the fruit of what you have spoken. Now, my child, do not just pray it, prepare to speak it, because what I confirm, you will declare. What I whispered, you will agree with, out loud. Stay with me, and let these next words rise from your spirit like a seal. Now, my beloved child, speak with me. Do not let this remain a moment that only warmed you. Let it become a word that anchors you, because declarations are not noise, they are agreement. They are the way you take what I confirmed in secret and plant it in the ground of your day. And when you speak what I have spoken, you are not trying to convince me, you are training your soul to stand. So declare this, slowly, and let your spirit catch up to your mouth. I will not chase signs. I will follow peace and truth. I will not be led by pressure, by panic, by urgency that feels loud but leaves me empty. I will not keep interrogating what I already heard. I honor the peace God gave me, and I will move with Him one obedient step at a time. Now declare your identity, because fear has tried to label you as forgotten and fragile. Say it, I am not overlooked. I am guided. I am guarded. I am loved. I am not a mistake looking for a map. I am a child being led by a faithful Father. Heaven has not lost track of me. My prayers were not ignored. My tears were not wasted. God is with me, and His hand is on my life. Now declare direction, because I am not giving you confusion. I am giving you order. Say it. My next step is ordered. My heart is steady. My mind is clear. I will not rush ahead of God, and I will not shrink back in fear. I have wisdom for this season. I have discernment for this decision. The door that is for me will open without requiring me to betray my peace, my integrity, or my wholeness. And now declare your release, because anxiety has been trying to sit in the driver's seat. Say it plainly. Anxiety is not my compass. God's presence is my anchor. I do not make decisions from dread. I do not interpret discomfort as disaster. I do not need to feel fearless to be faithful. When doubt tries to revisit what God settled, I return to His peace, and I stand. My child, this is the confirmation you asked me for, and now you must receive it. Not as a passing feeling, but as a position. Let peace be your sign. Let obedience be your response. And as you walk, you will find what you have been searching for. I was already speaking. I was already leading. I was already confirming you through the quiet strength of my peace. Now, my child, do not walk away unsealed. Do not let this word become something you felt for a moment and then forgot the moment. Life speaks louder. Because this was not random, and it was not simply encouraging, it was an appointment. I interrupted you on purpose, because you were about to keep walking past the very confirmation you have been begging me to send, and I have sent it. I sent it through peace. I sent it through clarity. I sent it through the quiet steadiness that came when you stopped chasing and started listening. Remember the path we just walked together. You did not find this by accident. I placed it in your day. I saw the hidden weight you have been carrying, the late-night spirals, the forced calm, the private fear that you might choose wrong and pay for it. I did not name that to shame you. I named it because I heal what is brought into my light, and I told you the truth. You do not need endless signs. You need a trust that can stand. You do not need 100 confirmations to soothe fear. You need one obedient step that agrees with the peace I already planted in you. So hear me, and let this settle deep. Peace is your sign, and obedience is your response. Not noise, not pressure, not panic, disguised as wisdom. When the next step is mine, it will not require you to betray the wholeness I am restoring. It will not demand that you abandon your integrity to get what I promised. My peace will guard you as you move, and that guarding is not a theory. It is the protection I assign to those who follow me. And when doubt rises again, as it will do, not treat it like a prophet. Return to this word. Come back and listen again. Not because I changed my mind, but because your mind gets tired and tries to renegotiate. Let peace be your checkpoint. If you feel yourself spiraling, stop and ask, am I being led by God's quiet direction, or am I being driven by fear's loud questions? And come back to me. I will steady you again. I will remind you again. I will guard you again. Now I am asking you for one concrete act of obedience today. One, not a performance, not a dramatic leap. One faithful move aligned with the decision you have been avoiding. Send the message you've been delaying. Make the appointment. Write the plan in one sentence. Gather the document. Have the honest conversation. Take the first step that peace has already been nudging you toward. Do it with me, not ahead of me. I am not rushing you to prove yourself. I am leading you to move with me. And do not carry this alone, my beloved. What I confirm in you, I also seal through community and agreement. In the next moment, I am going to ask you to share your decision simply, boldly, so others can stand with you in prayer, so your yes is not isolated, and so this word does not fade in silence. Stay with me. Do not drift now. This is not where you stop. This is where you walk. Now, my beloved, this is where you respond in faith, not with more overthinking, not with another private circle of what if, but with agreement. Because isolation is where fear grows loud, and community is where peace becomes strengthened. You do not have to process this alone. You do not have to carry this decision like a secret weight. I am bringing you out of silent struggling and into sealed obedience. And one of the ways I seal you is through confession, through agreement, through the simple courage of saying, "Yes, Lord, I heard you." So, I want you to do this now, while your spirit is still tender and your mind has not tried to take back control. Write these words. God has confirmed my next step, and I will move in peace. Write it as your stake in the ground. Write it as your refusal to renegotiate with fear tonight. And if you are comfortable, if you are ready to stop hiding the place you've been battling, share one word for what you're trusting me about. Just one word. Career, relationship, healing, move, calling. Do not over-explain. Do not defend yourself. Do not write a whole paragraph of worry. One sentence of agreement, one word of surrender, and let that be enough. Because I know what you need, even when you cannot yet say it perfectly. And if you want, leave your prayer request for clarity and courage. Ask plainly. Say, pray for me to take the step. Say, pray for peace to guard me after I decide. Say, pray for strength to have the conversation. And my child, hear me. You will not be ignored here. There will be people who have been where you are, people who understand the trembling, people who will stand with you and say, you are not alone, and you will not go back. Let the comments become an altar of agreement, not a place of performance. Now, I am also asking you to share this with someone you know has been stuck, someone who has been begging for confirmation while drowning in overthinking, someone whose sleep has been interrupted by fear's questions, someone who keeps delaying the step because they are terrified of choosing wrong. Send it to them as a lifeline, not because a video is magic, but because I use moments like this to interrupt the spiral and restore peace. And stay close, my beloved. Subscribe so you keep receiving what strengthens you, discernment that is clean, peace that is steady, and obedience that is practical in transition seasons. I will keep reminding you. I will keep steadying you. I will keep calling you forward, one faithful step at a time. Now receive this as I bless you. My peace will guard your heart and your mind as you move. My hand will guide your step as you obey. You will not be confused. You will not be abandoned. You will walk forward covered, and you will find me already there.